Hello and welcome to Conversations with Ruth. I am Ruth. I am also known as Notorious RVG. During the time I worked with ACLU, I encountered legal aid attorneys and was always impressed with their dedication and good work. I realized that I do not know much about legal aid of North Carolina. I have wondered what legal aid really is. How is legal aid able to serve all those that are eligible for its services? That legal aid not only provides services in specific areas, but to target populations, such as veterans, seniors, Native Americans, and victims of trafficking. Equally important is, what are the services legal aid provides? Well, to answer those questions, I ask that you join me in a series of interviews about getting to know legal aid of North Carolina. I promise you that I and you together, we will learn what legal aid is and what services it provides. Welcome. The Child's Advocate is a special project of Legal Aid of North Carolina. It provides attorneys to children in highly litigated family court cases. The attorneys are appointed by the court in Wake County Family Court. Today, to tell us about the work the Child's Advocate does and how they do it is Ms. Suzanne Chester. Ms. Chester is the managing attorney of the Child's Advocate. Ms. Chester, thank you very much for being here. I am delighted to have you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Sure. And as I said in my introduction, the legal aid attorneys are appointed by the court. Can you tell us what is the criteria used to appoint an attorney?
Well, we ask the judges to reserve our services for specific cases. Typically, these cases involve one or several of these factors, and the main factors would be there's always chronic conflict between the parents. There's sometimes ongoing litigation which might have gone on for years to the detriment of the child. It could be a child with special needs. We represent quite a number of children who have special needs. There's often a history of domestic violence, allegations or findings of child abuse. Sometimes the cases involved relocation, where one parent wants to move out of state and there's a dispute about which parent should have custody of the child. Mm-hmm. And so the judges really try to keep our services for children who are being very much harmed by the litigation, where the judge really wants to hear the voice of the child in terms of knowing what the wishes of the child are and what the child's needs are. A lot of these children need something that they may not be getting. Sometimes it might be a therapist, sometimes it might be some other form of maybe an educational service. So we work a lot with Child Protective Services, though most of our cases, I would say, have had involvement from Child Protective Services at some point. We work very closely with the child's therapist when the child has one, because that's really helpful for us to figure out what the child's position is in what some of the child's needs may be.
And once the attorney is appointed and goes through all that work, do they submit a report to the court?
We don't. That's how we differ from a traditional guardian ad litem. We are truly attorneys in the traditional sense of the word. Just like an adult, just like with our adult clients, everything that the child tells us is confidential. We only share that if the child specifically authorizes us to do that. And so we don't do a report. When there's a hearing, we appear in court and we advocate for the child. So we can call witnesses, we can question other parties' witnesses, and our client is not there, but we're advocating on behalf of that child.
And how many attorneys are in the project?
It's small. We have 2 full-time attorneys, and about 60% of my time is on child's advocacy work.
So do you rely sometimes in volunteer attorneys?
We do. We train attorneys from the private family law bar pretty much every year, and we put on an actual training, and then we record that, and we provide the recording to new attorneys who want to sign up to actually represent a child. So we rely pretty heavily on our volunteer attorneys, especially to take cases where we have a conflict.
Sure. With 2 attorneys, I imagine that's absolutely necessary.
Right. And we've half a paralegal.
Yes. And I mentioned in the introduction that you are working only in Wake County. Is there any plan to expand to other counties?
We do have a very small pilot program right now in Chatham and Orange. We are hoping to expand. It really is a matter of resources and whether we get some grants that we've applied to for.
Well, I'm talking about resources. What are the grants that are supporting this program?
The Governor's Crime Commission is a grant that we're hoping to get, that we have applied for. But right now, I mean, I don't deal with where's the source of the money.
Right.
We just get funded through legal aid,
Yeah.
but not LSC money.
I see. And are there instances where a child or a family relative contacts you directly, the program directly? Or is it always appointed?
We can only accept cases where we're appointed.
I see.
And we're in the process of setting up a collaboration with Campbell so that when we get a call from a parent who wants to have us appointed, rather than causing a conflict to be created by representing that parent and filing a motion, Campbell Law, their clinic, is going to help with actually helping that pro se person to file a motion to have us appointed.
I see. Wonderful. I have learned a lot, and I hope the viewers do too. Unfortunately, we don't have more time now. Thank you again so much for coming.
Thank you very much.